The domain is all possible values of the x, or the independent variable, or the input, for which the y, or output, is defined. The range is all possible values of the dependent variable, the y, or the output. If we had a little table, we would look for the x's, which I see are 1, 2, and 3, and that would actually be the domain. The x values that you could pick would be 1, 2, or 3, and that would give us the y values of the 3, 4, and 5. And because we can get those values, the y, or the output values, those are the range. So if we had this curve, and we were looking for the domain, which are the possible x values, we would want to look on the x-axis, and we want to pick all the values of x where you could go up or down and hit the blue curve. Anywhere that we could go up or down and hit the blue curve is part of the domain. It's an acceptable input to get an output. So I see that this is a continuous curve. It is solid. There are no breaks. So I'm going to look, and I see that the very smallest x value that has the ability to go up or down and hit the blue curve is right there at x is -6. There is no blue curve to the left of x of -6. So -6 is the smallest value in our domain. So this curve is solid all the way to x is 8. Any value between x of -6 all the way up to x of +8, any value works. So this whole thing is the domain. The range, which is all possible values of y, could be thought of as saying, for any value of y, where can you still go left or right and hit the curve? The values of the domain from -6 to +8 will give us what values of y. What are the possible outcomes from our domain? Looking at the very smallest value, I see that it would be here, which is the point -5, -3, which tells me that there is never going to be the blue curve below the green bar. And then I'm going to look to see where is the highest point on the blue curve, and that looks to be, about 1/4 and 3. We're focusing on the y values, which means we're going to span from a -3 down here all the way up to the +3 on the top end. The range is -3 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to +3. And if you were to draw these lines in showing the domain and range, you get your graph to be nicely boxed in. The whole graph is within the box, nothing is outside of the box. Now let's say we have this other kind of graph. If we're going to find the domain, which are the x values, I'm going to first look and see what's the farthest left I can go and go up or down and hit the blue line, which appears to be right here at x is -3. We have the solid closed circle blue line, so -3 works. There is nothing further left. On the right side, we actually have this arrow, which tells us that really this blue line keeps going on forever. And so I can't put a right end on this domain. So anything greater than or equal to a -3. For the range, which is y, the very lowest value that we will get a value for y is here at -1. And like the domain, I don't have the ability to draw a top barrier because the blue curve will keep going off into infinity. So any value that we pick for x will give us either -1 or a bigger value for y. So our range is all the values that are bigger or equal to -1.